they see you and like you automatically feel like, oh, like what do they think of me now? Like even though I have qualifications,
Yeah,
there's it.
it's nerve wracking. Like I, uh, I am terrified like to use any of my assistive tech, like my cane or my walker or a wheelchair, because on occasion I need one. Um, I'm afraid to use those in public because I'm afraid I'll have people like staring at me. Like, I saw you walking yesterday. Why are you in a chair? Why do you have a cane? Why do you have this? And I'm like,
Because my disability affects me
but
differently every day.
yeah, like it's it is very, very situational. Like in winter, it's terrible. Everything hurts, and your joints swell up, and ice is a nightmare.
Oh God, I know. I mean, horrible. But I have to learn how to, you have to learn how to fall, really. It's like, if you're going down like Chuck.
Oh my gosh, I love that statement so much because my family uses it to like the younger kids when they get hurt. They point to me and they're like, "Have Helena teach you how to fall," and I'm like, "Thanks, guys. Thank you."
Yeah, it's like,
That's not embarrassing at all, and the kids are usually looking at me like, "Why would she know?" Because usually they're not paying enough attention to know because they've seen me. They're used to it.
right,
I mean, the bright side is that they don't really see much wrong because they know I walk a little different. But if they've asked anybody about it, it's just kind of, it is the way it is. And, like a lot of people in my family do believe strongly in God. So I'm sure they use God made her a little different.
right.
So, it's one of those things, easy solution. But like, it's really funny. Because I think actually me and my mom have that conversation fairly frequently. Like, she'll fall in weird ways and hurt herself. I'm like, do you need me to teach you? Like, because it's a weird skill you get with
Yeah,
being disabled.
after
Like, you
you
learn
fall
how to
so
fall
many
slow.
times, it's like second nature.
Yeah, like I broke my tailbone when I was 11, and the only other bone I've ever broken was a toe,
Oh
and that
wow.
was because my foot cramped while I was falling and like my toes went underneath myself. But
Mm.
like extenuating circumstances. But like aside from those two bones, I've never broken anything else because I fall right, and it's
Well, that's what.
it's fun being able to tell people that kind of weird skill is that.
It's a talent,
It is what
okay? It is a talent. Well, that's what I really don't know how I didn't fall getting out of the bathtub and break a hip, but I just was like, turn, and like I didn't hurt nothing. I broke the toilet seat catching myself, but I didn't hurt myself. So I attribute that to falling so many times, getting back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for
Walking
doing this
walking
because
on ice and snow is a skill too.
yeah, winter hasn't even really begun, so it's like,
No, it's not, and I'm dreading it because I'm like, okay, when's the snow gonna happen? When's the ice? Because I'm gonna have to scuttle on all of that, and I want to be ready.
yeah. Well, I'll never forget at
Those
ISU.
little,
Um, I was walking to one of my classes and I hit a sheet of ice and I was going to go down and I jammed my crutches like into the ground to keep upright and it worked. It kind of messed with my handles a little bit because I have the cloth handles, so it kind of ripped them and everything. And it took me 3 years to finally get new handles. So now it's like, okay, don't let that happen again. But
yeah, like walking with a, walking on ice with a walker, believe it or not, feels less safe than walking on ice with just a cane or just on my own. Because like being on campus and walking with my walker. If I hit an icy patch anywhere, that walker was gonna go whoo, and I
Yeah.
was just yeah, all
It
right.
doesn't have
I
traction.
guess I'm on the ground now because the walker slid before I could catch my bearings, and like
Yeah. Do you ever
when
get do you ever get those falls that just come out of nowhere? And you're like, oh,
all the time.
I'm on the ground. Like I had no time to even think about that I was falling. I'm just on the ground.
Yeah, I absolutely have my favorite one, and yes, I have favorite falls. That's you have to because
Yeah.
some of them are just funny.
Yeah.
I was in junior high. I went to Parkside, and we were waiting in the bus line. A friend of mine gave me a hug. She turned around and walked away, and like this is me up against the wall, and like as she turns around, I just go. Like my legs didn't bend, nothing. I was just timbered like a tree. Then I was on the ground and I rolled over, started laughing immediately. She turns around, looks down. She's like, "What happened?" She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." I'm like, "You didn't do anything. My gravity just died."
Yeah.
Like it decided it was gonna pull me down. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. I'm like, "What even happened?" But
Like I can't even tell you. The one thing I tell people with falling is if I fall and hop right back up, I'm okay. You don't need to worry about me. If I fall and I don't get up right away, then you check on me.
yeah, like I've told people like if I fall and I'm laughing, just give me a minute, I'll be fine. If I fall and like look like I might pass out, then you can worry. But usually, like I fell a couple of times at work, and I said this already, but the kids are so funny. Because um, I had lost my balance at work and tripped over myself, and one of the kids I was walking with reached his arms out trying to catch me. I'm like, "Oh, you're cute. Don't do that. If I fall on you, you'll get hurt."
Yeah.
But like, he was so sweet. He just reached his arms out like, "I'll catch you if you fall." And
Aw.
like, okay. And like, actually fell another time, and some of the kids were like, "Do you need help? Do you need us to go get another teacher? Like, do you need this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's fine. Just stay with me, and I'll be okay. I'll get up in a minute." And like, it's really easy to just be like, "No, I'm good. I'm fine," with kids more so than it is adults.
Right.
Hilarious. That is hilarious. I've had fell in front of coworkers, and they're just like, oh, do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? And the kids are like, "Calm down." She said,
Yeah, the kids are already like desensitized to it. Like she's good.
It's really funny though, because like working with the kids that I've seen, they got so used to just weird random things that happened. Like, have you ever had the leg bounce spasm thing when you're going somewhere or sitting and
Yeah.
you're like, sorry, there was a gnat.
Oh, it's okay.
Like sitting somewhere and all of a sudden your leg starts bouncing and you can't make it stop.
A couple times, yeah. It's like, oh boy.
I've had those happen fairly often, and the kids will come over like, why are you bouncing your leg? I'm like, "Oh, sometimes it just does that, and I can't stop it." They're like, "Oh, okay," and then they'll look over again. "Oh, it stopped." Like, yeah, it stopped now.
Are you a jumpy person? Because that's what I get most embarrassed about. It's like if it's a loud noise or something I'm not expecting, like I jump and everyone
Yeah,
always laughs at me, but it's like I just can't help it.
yeah, like I I'm not necessarily jumpy, but like if I'm having anxiety or some issues along those lines, it kind of gets funny after the fact because like when I'm jumpy enough in those moments, like I'll start triggering my own spasms. I'm like, "Oh, this is fun." So like if my legs are tense enough, they'll just start bouncing. I'm like, "Oh, great, I'm gonna deal with this for 20 minutes." But like it gets to the point where it's basically workout.
Yeah, you're
um,
exercising. That's all.
yeah, um, I should start telling the kids that. I think it'd be funny.
I think humor is a
Thank
good
you.
way
Um,
to explain
oh
things.
yeah,
It's just it makes everything much more lighthearted, even if it's a serious subject. It's like
yeah,
you can grasp it, especially with kids.
yeah. Like I don't like when they ask me if it hurts. I will say that because I don't like lying to kids. So like I will honestly tell them that sometimes it does, but sometimes it just goes away quick enough that it's not going to. Um,
Hmm.
but I like the concern that they have with it. Like, um, there are some times where like I'll have a leg spasm for a good 10 minutes or so, and they'll come up. Does it hurt or is it okay? But like,
Eh,
and it's just something that's become normal to them, and it's. I
see,
mean,
but
on one hand, it's nice, but
the
on
more people are exposed to disability, the more normal it is. So,
exactly. But like, the only reason I say it's not very nice is because of the way the adults are kind of treating it, um, and not necessarily the teachers that I'm working with, but the directors and possibly the higher ups beyond them.
mm,
Um, but
that's a shame.
it's nice. It's nice to be able to tell the parents like, oh hey, this was a thing that happened, and like acknowledge that their kid was being really considerate because you don't often think of 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds as like really caring about other people so much because they're very like self-centered age. So it's really nice to be able to tell parents like I was having this issue and your kid did this thing. Um, last time I went to work, uh, a kid had noticed like I had only met him that day, and he noticed that I walked differently. He noticed that I had to use my hands to pick my legs up, like to stand up. Um, and he asked me why, and I told him, the whole born a little bit different thing, so I have to do things a little differently. So instead of going, oh, well, that's, you know, frustrating thing or whatever, like, he kind of acted like he understood, but then when I went to get up, he goes, oh, let me help you. I was like,
Oh,
oh, I really
thank
hope
you.
I get to meet your parents.
Yeah.
Like, right, I was so happy because he he was kind of struggling all day. Just I don't know if it was just being there, but it seemed like he had some of his own anxiety. And
Well, I'm glad you know, even so, he ended up doing something like super nice.
I don't know if it cut me.
Yeah, it cut you off a little bit.
Yeah, like yeah, but he just he didn't even know who I was. Like he had just met me that day, couldn't remember my name for anything, which is fine. He's 4 and just met me that day. I get it. Um, but he was just so sweet about it. He's like, "Oh, you clearly need help. Let me help you." And then like he didn't invade my space. Even like how some adults will be like, "Oh, let me help you," and you're like, "No," and they're like, "I'm doing it anyway."
Yeah.
Like he didn't even do that. He just offered his hand. Like if I wanted it, I could take it. And I was just like, "Oh, you're so sweet."
See, that's something too about like people like asking you for help. Like, do you need help? And you saying no, but then them wanting to do it anyway. It's like I said no because your help is just going to make it more
Yeah,
difficult.
like
Like sometimes help is nice because it does make things easier. And like if I fall, somebody wants to help pick me up. It's like no, because it's just easier for me to get up on my own. Some, I don't know. Just I think people need to
right. Like
respect.
I've had people ask,
People just
Yep,
need to respect that
I can.
we said no.
Right, like okay, so I have some parameters to that. I will say, if I say no and the person sticks around, like to give me a chance to help myself, and then kind of goes, "Are you sure?" and then allows me to say yes, then like that's fine. But if I say no originally and then you help me anyway because whatever, like you're taking away my independence for one, and then you're disrespecting me as a person for two, and it's just not cool. It's not okay. Like I think I think actually the only time I ever had anyone that I said no to stick around instead of either just helping me because I was in their way or whatever, or just leaving me and scoffing because they thought I was being rude, was when I was in Ireland.
Yeah, I remember you having some rough times when you did the study abroad.
Yeah, like rough times aside with Ireland, there there was one lady. We were all trying to meet somewhere, and for one, I couldn't figure out where we were going, so I stopped asking somebody for help. I was in a wheelchair while I was over there, and like the sidewalks are not made for wheelchairs, so the wheelchairs have all-terrain wheels. We need that in
Oh,
America.
nice. We should do that. Why not?
You know, like it was amazing, but it was a slightly steep hill of sidewalk, and I kept trying to roll up, and the wheelchair kept going backwards. And she was like, "Well, I'm going the same direction. Would you mind if I pushed you?" I'm like, "I mean, I can do that myself, but And she's like, "Okay, that's fine." And she let me kind of struggle with it a little bit, and then my arms got tired, and I was like, "All right, screw this, I can't." And she
Yeah.
goes, "Are you sure you don't want help?" And I'm like, "Please do. I can't get up this hill." And she goes, "Okay, it's fine." And then, she pushed me all the way to where I was going and then went to where she was going. Like, that kind of thing is nice. That's okay. Like, as long as you let me try first, because that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Like, let me
And
get
if
to the
I'm letting
point
you
that
help,
I think I need help.
right? Like, let me let me decide I need help before, but it's kind of funny because I noticed the same kind of independence fight with younger kids, because it's a thing. Like, a lot of times people will go, "Are you sure you don't need help?" And the kid's like, "I can do it myself." And then the adult ends up helping anyway because eventually the kid gives up. But it's like they're treating us like overgrown children, except for not allowing us the option to say no, because even if we say no, they're like, "Doing it anyway."
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's interesting. It's an interesting pattern that I've noticed. Um, but I don't know, like I could talk about my experiences probably all day, really,
yeah.
because it's
Well, hey, I'll have you back for another
they're
interview.
very yay. Um,
But yeah, thank you for doing this because I I
no
interviewed
problem.
Christina, so I interviewed her and I was like, I wonder if anyone else would want to interview just because that's what I
Yeah,
was.
as soon as you posted it, I was like, me.
Yeah.
It's like I I get stupid nervous on camera, I really do. But like if it's something I really feel like needs to be talked about, which of course this does, um, it's something I could go on about for as long as I need to. I have several soapboxes. Um, one of which you and Christina actually helped me add to the mix. Um,
Oh. Oh.
'cause,
What did we do?
I don't remember. I don't know if you remember talking to me about Holiday World like a couple of years ago. You and Christina both told me that roller coasters are not your friends.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I told my mom. I told my mom that I had been warned. She made me go on the log ride at a Holiday World anyway. No, never again. Nope. That
Yeah.
hurt. It was not fun. It was not a happy time.
Yeah, there's
Like,
just something
I
about the
put my
neck
glasses.
muscles. It's like,
Yeah, I put
no.
my glasses on the inside of my shirt so I knew I wouldn't lose them. And then as soon as we started going down that hill, my entire body just.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad now I'm glad we could help you avoid those now.
Like it, it, yeah, like oh, they put me in the front of the roller coaster. Did I tell you that? Because that was
Oh
awful.
no. Oh.
Amplified my fear of heights, and my entire body was just tensing as we went down. My
Uh,
mom's friend thought it was hilarious because it went me, my mom, then him, and he's laughing behind her because like I let out this completely involuntarily guttural noise as soon as we started going down the hill, and as soon as we hit the bottom, I was like, I can't feel anything.
I don't mean to laugh because I would do the same thing, but I think that's why I'm laughing because it's like as much as we say experiences aren't always the same, there are some things. It's like, yeah, I feel that so
Yeah,
hard.
I had asked both of you if you'd ever been on a roller coaster for this reason because I knew my mom was determined to get me on one. I was determined not to be on one just because of my fear of heights, not even because like I hadn't considered what it might do to my muscles and my body. I swear I felt like I had been struck by lightning. I told my dad what it felt like, and he's like, "Yeah, that's about right." Like, oh, great.
Why
Great.
didn't you tell me?
Awesome. Like,
uh,
it was so bad. He laughed. I'm like, no, of course he would.
oh,
Like, I can laugh about it, and I could within a few hours after that, but like it hurt so bad for like seconds, and then I couldn't feel anything, and then when I started feeling things again, it was just no. But she's like, well, at least I chose the weakest one. I'm like, that's not helping.
yeah, because then that makes you think, oh, like what if you hadn't? What would I be feeling now?
Yeah, like I thought it was funny. I did immediately get my revenge against my mom's friend for laughing at me on the roller coaster because he had to push me around in the wheelchair for the whole duration that we were at the park. And there were a lot of hills there, and I am not light. So he's like pushing with both of his hands at my back up hills, and I'm like,
like,
serves you right.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
but like it's interesting to see like what we have similar and different just because like I don't know, I've always been fascinated with it. I feel like I'm rude sometimes because I'll go up to people and be like, why do you walk the way you do? Like what is this? But then I'll immediately follow it up with, I'm curious because I have cerebral palsy.
right. Do you ever feel like you're out somewhere and you're like, yeah, that's the CP walk, or like, because I do that where it's like I think that person has CP. I'm not always the bravest to go ask, but it's like I think that person has CP.
I don't know. Like I've had moments where like it's not necessarily that I don't want to talk about it, but like I feel people are being a little ruder about talking about it. But I don't know that I've ever felt like I couldn't talk about it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
especially now that I've kind of like owned my disability. Now it's like let's talk about it and just to
yeah,
whoever. I mean, as long as you're not being like an asshole and you're trying to put me down. I mean,
yeah,
if you want to have a general, like, genuine conversation about it, and you're just curious and want to know things, then, like,
Yeah,
please. But if you're just gonna,
I feel like
oh, go ahead.
yeah, I feel like I've definitely been asked questions um because people thought it would be funny to ask me questions about my disability, which didn't make sense to me, but because it seemed like they were legitimate questions, but they were like hee 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 when I'd answered. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
are
not
you
someone that
like,
really cares to
are you
know.
serious? Why? What is this?
Yeah. That's someone that doesn't really care
Yeah,
to learn about you and know you as a person. They're just trying to be ignorant.